episode of King Jing Things. I am King Jing. He is Mike Barnett. And today we are bringing you a bit of a Masters preview. I'm going to be honest, I recently got into golf, so I don't have any background on it. Obviously, I know that the Masters is the big tournament of the year. So I thought it would be kind of cool to just have Mike come on and, sort of explain a few things that me and maybe some of the other listeners don't necessarily know. Uh, Mike, go ahead and give them your background on golf and I guess your interest in the PGA Tour.
As always, thanks King Jing for having me. I've pretty much loved golf since I was a kid, something that my family's always enjoyed. My uncle specifically, we used to watch golf tournaments every weekend. So it's cool to be able to see golf continue to grow, whether it's through YouTube content. COVID really obviously helped golf, but it's really come a longer way than I would have expected when we were much younger. And I played golf in high school. I continue to play golf today. I just love the sport. It's so great to get out and be outside and do anything, whether you're good or bad. Like, you can enjoy it. It's a mental capacity game, and I've had my ups and downs when it comes to that in life. But at this point, I just go out to enjoy it with friends, and I'm so thankful to have so many friends that play now. So yeah, it's such a fun sport. I'm glad people are into it.
Well, one thing that you sort of mentioned there was it seems like the sport has grown over the last few years. Like personally, when I was younger, I had, it was something that my grandpa fell asleep to, uh, but it seems like over the past, like we'll say 5 years, it has taken a big jump, and I didn't know if that was, just the sport growing in general, or if it was just because hey, I'm getting a little older. I'm still a competitive guy. So, just going out on the course is something that, I can sort of scratch that competitive itch. So, let's go ahead and get started then. What makes the Masters so special compared to like these other majors besides tradition?
Realistically, even though there's four majors each season, the Masters is like the Super Bowl. It's the World Series. It's the Daytona 500. Uh, this is the golf tournament you want to win. You want to walk away with a green jacket. You want to set up dinner for the next year with all the previous winners. You may never win another golf tournament in your life, but if you can say you won the Masters, you are going down in history of golf. I'm thinking about guys like Charles Schwartzel, who's never won another major. He's on Live now, and he really doesn't have that many wins on tour, but he won the Masters, and that's how people remember him. You don't even have to win the Masters. I think about Louis Oosthuizen all the time, and the fact that he got an albatross on 13 at the Masters, and like that's a memory that I would never think of from any other golf tournament. It's what it means not only to the players but to the fans. I mean, this is the hardest tournament to go to. I've been in the lottery since I was 18, so for 13 years, never won tickets, so I've never been. Um, this is the one time you can talk to people that have no idea about golf, that will sit down and watch with you and be intrigued to understand what's going on. And this is arguably the hardest golf course in the world. The elevation that you don't necessarily see on TV, the way the greens are set up. This isn't a go hit the ball as far as you can and have a better shot in type of golf course. This is a you really need to place your drives. You really need to place your shots on the green because you could be 12 feet from the hole and have the worst putt on the golf course. So it's not like anything else you would think of when you go out to play your municipal course or you go play a resort course. It's Augusta National. It's different and it's special.
How does Augusta National sort of challenge these golfers differently than any of these other major venues?
Yeah, so again, like it really comes down to the play itself, right? Like this golf course is in the most pristine condition of anywhere you're going to play. But what that means is you are putting yourself in positions to fail depending on what you would do at another golf course. For example, I'm thinking about number 13. When you're hitting a drive, it's a dog leg left. You're going to have to get it down there. And if you don't get it all the way around the corner, you now don't have a shot to the green. But other things happen here too at Augusta, and it's really crazy. So think about the greens being more like glass. Like, putts are just faster here. So something that you might putt and leave 2 feet might go 5 feet past the hole, and that 5 footer is going to be the hardest putt you've ever hit in your life. It's not the same. And when I think about even the rough, the way that the wind swirls at this golf course, you see it all the time. You'll watch a player literally pick grass, throw it up in the air, and watch the way it goes. You watch them hit their ball, and the wind goes the complete opposite way as it gets closer to the green. I don't know why it does it. It has to be elevation related, but it's a diabolical design that's made to make or break a golfer, and it brings the best golf content every year.
Are there any like key holes that usually decide, the what way I guess the majors go, or what way the Masters go?
So I always look at it personally. I start with number three. This is a hole that you will see half the guys drive, half the guys hit an iron to the middle of the fairway. When I play my EA Sports game, I never use driver because every time I use driver, the hill actually brings the ball further left and gives you a terrible shot to the green. So these guys try to place it in the only spot you can on the right where it's flat, doesn't always work. Where if they take a driver or an iron off the tee, they can usually hit a full wedge into the green, and that's a lot better of a shot for them. So that's really where you're going to start your round. Like you're kind of gauging everything based on that. As you go into later in the round, of course, you have amen corners. So you're going into 11 and 12. 13 and 15 are holes that are par fives that you can eagle, but can also turn into disaster. It's happened many times on Sunday going down the back nine. It's the hardest nine in golf is Sunday at Augusta is the back nine because whether you're in the lead by 5 strokes, 1 stroke, you're behind by 5 strokes, you're still in contention because we have seen it multiple times. Unfortunately, we saw Max Homa do it last year, right? And he broke down, and we all thought Scotty Scheffler was going to win the tournament regardless, but you really don't know. So, I mean, we saw Tiger in 2019, which honestly is my favorite Masters moment of all time, come back and win the tournament on that back nine and show that no matter where he is condition wise, he's the best golfer we've ever seen. So, yeah, I mean, those holes matter. 16 matters. It's so difficult.
You got to figure that back nine on Sundays when the nerves really start hitting, especially if you're in one of those top contending spots. So I guess that's when I guess a veteran coming in might have a slight advantage over one of these newcomers. Uh, let's go ahead and shift to like certain storylines that you might be looking out for during this weekend. Who are the top contenders heading into the Masters this year, and is there anybody that you're personally looking out for?
The top three, based on betting odds, are going to be Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Colin Morikawa. All three who have been playing very good golf. Some will say Scotty Scheffler's not playing good golf, but that's because he won so much last year. They think that's all he's supposed to do, but he plays in some of the best golf leagues in the world. So, he's playing good golf. And if somebody wants to turn it on and he can handle the pressure, he's the guy. People are really, really high on Rory McIlroy. He obviously won the Players a few weeks ago, and he's playing probably the best golf we've seen in years. This would be his opportunity to win the Grand Slam. So, of course, that's always a big story. Everybody wants to know when Rory's going to win the Masters, and I'll dive more into my thoughts on Rory McIlroy shortly. We can talk about that. And then Colin Morikawa, who already has 2 majors in his career, is just arguably striking the ball better than anybody on the course. He was playing at Bay Hill here recently. Unfortunately, ended up losing the tournament. But when you are hitting the ball as well as he is, that's when you're going to succeed at Augusta at the end of the day. But, a lot of people aren't talking about some of the other people I think are favorites. And most of the time it's because they're on the live circuit, so people aren't watching. But Bryson DeChambeau has been playing really well recently. I see no reason why he wouldn't contend, as he's just striking the ball as well as he ever has. John Rahm is also playing very good golf. The live tournament just played at the Blue Monster at Doral, and I think that was a really big step for them to play a very difficult golf course before the Masters that I think really is going to put them into a spotlight that, hey, we just played a tough golf course last week. We're not scared to play another tough golf course.
Are there any like dark horses that you might think have a chance here? Like you mentioned, some of these live guys, I feel like they are being a little bit slept on.
They're always being slept on. I mean, the ones that are playing in the Masters because of world ranking, they're pretty much ones that have won the Masters before. So to think that these guys can't win it again is crazy, right? Joaquin Neiman, who hasn't won the Masters, but again has qualified for the Masters, is playing as good of golf as anybody else in the world. He's been doing it for the last 2 years. There's no reason to think that he can't show up and have a good Masters. I know last year he really struggled, but he had a really great season. So I'm going to put him as a dark horse. I think he has a real chance. A lot of people are talking about Corey Connors because he's probably been the most consistent golfer on the PGA Tour so far this year. I think he's like plus 7,000 odds to win, so it's really not a bad choice for somebody. Or I think he's plus 400 as far as top 10. So again, that's really not a bad gamble for anybody that wants to bet something like that. Um, but Maverick McNeely also playing really good golf. These are guys that personally I don't know if they're going to contend. When you get to Augusta, it's different. You could be playing the worst golf of your life, but the players that know how to play it know how to play it. I'm thinking of guys like Brooks Koepka. I think he has a great chance to succeed. He did very poor last week in the Live Golf tournament, but the guy comes up when it matters most, and I would be looking out for him this weekend.
But let's go ahead and you mentioned the Grand Slam that Rory McIlroy might be able to finally complete. People have been basically wondering, is this the year? What do you say? Do you think he has a good shot?
I've always wanted to say this, and it's more of a joke, but my sources are telling me he's awfully confident this week. It's crazy to think that anybody that I talk to is literally talking about how Rory McIlroy is going to win this weekend because there's 90 other players. I think it's 96, and to just assume one guy is going to win is crazy. Now, people did the same with Scotty last year, and he won, so kudos to him. But it feels different this year. I don't know what it is. I don't feel like anybody's a favorite. I think this could go any way. Like it's really going to depend on conditions. It's possible to rain Friday. Like you could just be lucky based on what your tee time is on Friday, based on the condition that's going to happen. Like I realistically don't have a favorite in reality till the cut's made, and then we can kind of go from there. But I'm I'm not on the Rory train. This is a hot take, and most people aren't going to like this, but he's never been my favorite to watch. I don't think he's that cool of a dude. And I really don't understand the love that people have and they want to see him succeed. I think it's better for golf when he gets close and misses because every year it gives them a story to talk about. Will Rory McIlroy do it? Will he do it? Well, if he does it, that's a storyline gone. So I'm in the camp that sure, let him finish top five, but I don't want him to win. I want to see somebody either new win or one of the guys that I root for to win because he's not one of them. And that's just my opinion, but I think the pressure is going to get to him. It's gotten to him plenty of times in the past. He hasn't won a major in a long time. Like, sorry, I don't know if he's got it.
Everybody loves the story of the guy reaching the apex, getting that moment. But unfortunately, I think in the sports media business, it is a lot better to see failure. People love going on the internet and absolutely shitting on the person that you have propped up. So I get it. Well, what about my boy Max Homa? I believe he just had a baby, or he's about to have a baby. Do you believe in the baby bump?
So here's the thing with Max Homa, and I thought this was really weird, but something that most people probably haven't seen yesterday, his caddy, who was his best friend, right? And they're still friends. They they removed each other from caddying for each other and playing, is actually caddying for Justin Thomas this week. Now, Justin Thomas's caddy is sick, so he needed somebody on the bag. I'm sure Max Homa's old caddy is also friends with JT. They're all young dudes. They all know each other. I'm sure I mean, you see each other every weekend. He needed somebody on the bag, and that's who he chose. But Max Homa has somebody new on the bag this week, and he has been playing arguably pretty bad. The odds for him to miss the cut are very like bad to bet on. Like they people really think he's going to, and I think even on Underdog Fantasy, the higher lower for his strokes in the first round is like 73.5, which is not what you want to see when you are want to see somebody succeed. But again, when it comes to these big tournaments, and again, we saw what happened to him last year, the kid knows how to play the course. If he goes out there and just has a good first round, there's no reason that he can't have a chance. Really, if you're in contention going into Saturday, there's always a chance to win. And I actually would put money on him to break that 73.5. I've already done that, said lower for tomorrow. And I do believe that he will make it into the weekend, at least within the top 20.
Do you have a particular group on Thursday that you are especially like excited to sort of follow around?
So when I was going through them and looking, I was thinking about, look, if I was there, who would I specifically want to watch? There's there's one group, they start in the morning, I think around 10, and it's Colin Morikawa, Joaquin Neiman, and Minwoo Lee. I'd love to see the chef cook. You know, he just won the tournament 2 weeks ago. It would be amazing to watch him do well at the Masters. I think that's one golfer that everybody roots for at the end of the day. Again, I told you earlier, Joaquin Neiman, even though he's on live, is playing some of the best golf. He won one of the first two tournaments in their season. Like, he just plays well. He's been very good. I don't know if Augusta's his place. He hasn't really shown that it is in the past, but if he's playing like he has been recently, he will be a factor over the weekend. And then Colin Morikawa, again, he has the third best odds, arguably hitting the ball better than anybody else. I see no reason why you wouldn't pick that group for the morning. And the afternoon group that everybody's going to follow, but again, I have no interest personally, is the Rory, Ludwig Oberg, and Akshay Bhatia group, because everybody wants to see what Rory's going to do. I'm not behind it, man. I don't know.
So we'll go ahead and wrap this up pretty soon. I know you got stuff you got to do today. So first off, appreciate you coming on and sort of dropping some knowledge on me and some of the other people that might not necessarily follow golf as regularly as you do. If you could have one like bold prediction that nobody in the top five, what would that be? Like, what is a bold prediction you've got?
This bold prediction is based on nothing but the fact that I like following the guy on Twitter, and I am taking Michael Kim to finish top 10 in the Masters. That's my bold prediction. He has played very good golf. He finished second at TPC Scottsdale. He's been within the top 30 over the last 6 tournaments, and that's how he qualified for the Masters. So realistically, when you're playing good golf, you're playing good golf. I think he has a real good chance. The way he plays his game, he plays a draw. It's going to fit the Augusta mold really well. If he is able to play well around the green, he has a chance to finish top 10 in the Masters.
I'm looking right now. It looks like for him to be top 10, it is plus 750. So that seems like pretty good odds. So if you got something that's just you're feeling it, go ahead. Might as well drop $10 on that. I do have a little bonus question here for you. You mentioned at the top that if you win the Masters, it is tradition that next year for the Masters dinner, you sort of coordinate that. That comes with a appetizer, a main course with a few sides, and then a dessert. Tell me, if you won the Masters, what would you have as your meal? What is a signature Mike Barnett meal?
God, I would have such a basic bitch dinner. It would be so great. I see all the guys, they're always having like steak or lobster and all this stuff, and that's like all stuff I don't care about. My appetizer would be chips and queso. My go-to appetizer at all times. I will always love some chips and queso. Uh, my main entree would probably be make your own white people tacos. Like, put all this stuff out. Let me put it in my little burrito or taco shell myself. Let me add any of the toppings because I'm going meat and cheese. Everybody else is going to want veggies and stuff. figure that out on your own. I'm happy to have chicken, steak, ground beef. If anybody has barbacoa, carnitas, whatever anybody wants, let's have it. I think that's a good camaraderie meal. And then if I'm having a dessert, just get everybody a nice individual Carvel cake with all the little crunchies in the middle. So you can just take that first bite, the chocolate and vanilla with the little whatever those little cookie crunch things in are in the that's it's the best dessert. It's my favorite cake. Um, it's basic, but damn, it would be a delicious dinner. Everybody would hate it but me, but I would be
Who
ecstatic.
who who doesn't like white people taco night though? Wasn't it Scotty Scheffler last year? Who I guess he ended up putting something a little bit too spicy that some of the old guys on like couldn't really keep up with it. They said it was too spicy, so I think the next year he ended up taking it away. Or maybe I'm making that up.
You might be right because he won in 22 and 24, so it's possible. But they probably said the same thing about John Rahm too because he did tapas, and I'm sure his Spanish background had some spice in it. So I think that's the funniest part, right? Is like you get to like pick a dinner and like you're picking it for you, but like the other guys don't like it, like tough luck. But at the same time, it's the tradition of golf, the dinner, the Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player taking the first tee shots, like it's the difference between a golf tournament and the Masters, and that's why we love it.
There are like that's probably my favorite thing. Obviously have not been following golf for too long, but it's always fun to hop on Twitter or X or whatever, and you see the little card that has the winner's chosen meal, and you just see the entire internet just shitting on it. Like I think somebody had like a chicken Caesar salad followed by chicken and beans, and then a confetti cake as their dessert. So I don't know. Personally, if I ever won the Masters, I would be putting in probably more thought into my meal, what I would want to serve, than actual prepping for the weekend. But that's why I'm sitting here in my basement and not playing the Masters.
I think we should hear what would you do if what would your dinner be?
Shoot, man. I mean, if I'm not sitting here trying to impress people. I think I would go more like it seems like you went a more Mexican style route. I think for my appetizer, it would be like some garlic bread with a bunch of different dips. So
I
I'm going to
like
go a
that.
little bit more of an Italian spin on it. It can be a five cheese dip, it can be an Alfredo dip, it could be a marinara dip. For my entree, I'm a big pizza guy. I've got a pizza tattooed on my leg. Why not a bunch of different styles of pizza? The pizza has something for everybody.
I like that.
In a dessert, I'll just stay basic and I'll go with a red velvet cake, just to tie it all together.
I like that. That sounds delicious. I mean, if you ever want to make that and just invite me over, we can also we don't have to worry about the Masters at all.
I was gonna say maybe we do a master's tradition going forward where we have white people tacos and pizza.
I think that's the best idea we've had all day.
Solid plan, solid plan. Well, Mike, I appreciate you hopping on once again. Always good having you. Anything that you want to leave with the 18 subscribers that we have on YouTube right now?
I think the only other thing I want to talk about quickly is there's 5 amateurs in the field that have earned their way into the Masters. So good luck for them, or to them. I think that's always so cool that there's an opportunity to go play a course like that. Um, you know, I'm excited to see what YouTube Golf continues to bring during Masters Week. There's been a lot of good content. So if anybody is interested in stuff like that, go to YouTube Golf, look up the guys, Bob Does Sports, good. There's a lot of really great content out there right now that's helping grow the game if you're interested. And I'm just excited to see how the weekend goes. Personally, for me, starting tomorrow morning at like 9 a.m., I'll have 4 different screens. So I'll have holes 4, 5, and 6, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, whatever the ones are. I'll have drivers on the range. I'll have it on the TV. It is the one time I watch all 4 rounds religiously during the year, and I hope to see everybody else doing it too. So I'm really excited to see how it goes, and we'll definitely have to do a recap video once it's over.
Absolutely. If you guys liked what you saw today, go ahead, hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe, help me and Mike out, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.